I'm on the National Mall in Washington, D.C., and more specifically, I'm at the National World War II Memorial. This is a memorial built to honor the over 400,000 Americans who died in World War II, as well as all the veterans who had fought during that war. Let's go check this out. This was a long overdue memorial dedicated by President George W. Bush in 2004. I think it is an incredible memorial, one of the best I've ever been to. It's centrally located on the National Mall between the Washington Monuments and the Reflecting Pool and Lincoln Memorial. As you walk to the memorial, you pass by lots of bas-reliefs showing different scenes from the war, from joining the military and preparations to combat and victory scenes. These are some European scenes on the Atlantic side. The memorial does recognize women who served in various critical roles. About 350,000 women served in the military despite not being allowed to actually fight. The memorial is built in an oval shape with two sides representing the two fronts, the Atlantic and Pacific. The memorial honors 16 million Americans who served in World War II. This was and is the largest and most widespread war the world has ever seen, and hopefully ever will see. Starting with the Atlantic side, conflict began here with the rise of Hitler and the Nazi Party in Germany. President Franklin D. Roosevelt entered the war after Pearl Harbor and began openly aiding Great Britain and building up the military to defend that nation, which by 1942 was standing alone in Europe. Eventually, with the invasion of Italy in 1943 and France in 1944, the Germans were pushed back towards Berlin. At the same time, the Soviets were doing that from the east, and Germany officially surrendered on May 8th, 1945. This is a wall of gold stars. It's a tribute to the 405,399 dead or missing Americans from World War II. There are 4,000 stars, so each one represents over 100 dead or missing. And there was also the Pacific Theater. Japan had become very powerful and militant and allied with Germany and Italy. So on December 7th, 1941, the date which will live in infamy, as FDR put it, the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. Much of the fighting in the Pacific was naval and air battles, with Marines fighting on the islands as the U.S. island hopped closer and closer to the Japanese mainland, with significant victories at Midway, Iwo Jima, and others. Then in August 1945, the United States dropped 2 atomic bombs, and Japan did surrender, ending the war. Each state has a pillar here, along with the District of Columbia and the territories, and here is Indiana's. And here's a little hidden secret on the Pennsylvania column right next to it. Kilroy was here. That is the original meme. Soldiers during World War II would carve those in places like the ships, just all over the place. And they built one here. I also heard a story once that there was one carved into Stalin's bathroom at the Potsdam Conference, and he started using this shit over it. I also visited the memorial at dusk. Visiting the memorials on the National Mall are different between daytime and dusk, nighttime. 2 different experiences. One reason it took years to build this memorial was all the criticism around it. First off, people were concerned about the location, that it would disrupt the National Mall view, which I don't think it does at all. The architect did a good job making sure it doesn't disrupt anything. Also the design. Some critics thought it looked like Soviet-style architecture or something out of Hitler's Germania plans. But really they used Art Deco and the type of architecture you'd see in the New Deal, so I think it's very appropriate. Also, Senator Rob Portman wanted FDR's D-Day prayer built in, which is the combination of church and state, so luckily they didn't pass that. So this is a fantastic memorial to all the brave men and women who saved the world from its most dangerous crisis. I have other videos on National Mall memorials, so please go check those out, and thanks for watching.